Hey guys, so let's start with your warm-up. So you should have already grabbed your binders. Now I know it's kind of weird being in Mr. Sansoni's room, but that's okay. So let's get started now. We should be on a new page, a new green warm-up page. And today's date is the 25th. We have 6 fractions for today's warm-up, and all I want you to decide is if it's proper or improper. So next to each fraction, you'll write a P or an I. Now just to remind you, proper fractions is when the top number is smaller than the bottom. Improper fractions is when the top number is bigger than the bottom, or it's the same size. So I want you to pause the video right now and let's go through this. Good. Okay, let's see how well you did. 6/5. 6 is bigger than 5, which makes this improper. So I. 10/9 or 10/9. 10 is bigger than 9, so that makes this one also improper. 4/5. This one is, let's see, 4 is smaller than 5. That makes that proper. And 8/2. Well, 8 is bigger than 2, so that makes this fraction improper. 7/6. 7 is more than 6, so that makes this fraction also improper. And our last one, 2/3. 2 is smaller than 3, so that makes this a proper fraction. Very good. Okay, let's take a look at what we're doing today. I know this is like a different, than our typical rotations, the way it's going to look today. But let's just see what we have. So JT, Jacob, and Hallie, you guys are done with the practice quiz. So you're going to move on to watching the lesson 2.7 video. Now I know we're not used to just having to watch the video, especially since I'm actually here to help you. But there's just a lot of people who have to do that practice quiz. So I just needed everyone to have their task. So you guys are going to watch and copy down the notes for 2.7. Then you can go on Prodigy. Now everyone else, so that would be Nevaeh, Minnie, Charlie, Justin, Robbie, and Tim. Now I'm also going to have you guys probably work on watching the 2.4, 2.6 practice quiz video. And then from there, you'll do the real quiz. So it's a little bit different, but hopefully not too bad. Now this is for obviously our 3rd period class. But I also have a 6th period, so my 3rd period, guys, you can ignore this next part. 6th period, this is your agenda for today. My 2 Aidens, you guys will also be watching your 2.7 video and copying the notes down. Then you can play on Prodigy. Ashlyn and Ashley, you guys are going to work on the practice quiz video, and then you'll do your real quiz. Tori, welcome back, and you need to start to catch up on the videos that you missed. Now, I'm not sure where you are in these videos, so we just have to start on whichever one you haven't done. That might be 2.4, or that means you're starting on 2.5. We'll have to kind of decide in a minute. Yuri, you also need to catch up on all your videos. This time you're doing 2.5 and 2.6. And Dylan, now I wrote place value video, but me and you will actually just do a place value lesson instead. And then you'll go on Prodigy. Okay, a lot of stuff going on today. Now in the same video, this will be our 2.4 to 2.6 practice quiz video as well. So for anyone that has that task, so in 3rd period, Nevaeh, Minnie, Charlie, Justin, Robbie, Tim. 6th period, Ashlyn and Ashley. You guys are staying on this video and copying down everything for the practice quiz starting now. Here we go. So our practice quiz has 3 parts. First part is dealing with our alligators and improper versus proper fractions. Part 2 is identifying types of fractions, so proper and what kinds, at a really small top number, really small, or only a kind of small top. And then part 3 is just adding or subtracting the fractions. So let's get started here with part 1. We have to decide which fraction is bigger. You have 3 answer choices. Now each answer choice, the alligator's eating a different fraction. So we need to decide which fraction gets eaten. Remember, improper fractions always get eaten because improper is always bigger than proper. So let's compare our first 2 fractions. 9/8 compared to 11/12. Let's see, 9 over 8. Well, 9 is bigger than 8, which makes this improper. So I'm going to draw an I next to that. 11 over 12. Well, 11 is smaller than 12. That makes this proper. And alligators always eat improper fractions. So we have to look at our answer choices where alligator is eating 9/8. Let me see. Let's look at part C. The alligator's eating 11/12. That doesn't work because it needs to eat 9/8. Part B, the alligator mouth is still eating 11/12. Still doesn't work. Part A, though, 9/8 is being eaten. So that means part A is our answer. Question 2. We are comparing fractions 1/2 and 1/10. Well, 1 over 2, let's see, 1 is smaller than 2, so that makes this a proper fraction. And 1 over 10, well, 1 is also smaller than 10, so that makes this also a proper fraction. When we have 2 proper fractions, I need to use my multiplication, my cross multiplication, to decide what is actually bigger. And this number 2, where we have to use the multiplication, you have to do that on your real quiz as well. So on number 2 on the real quiz, you are doing cross multiplication. So let's start that now. Let's loop together 1 and 10. 1 times 10, that's 10. And I write that above my first loop. My next loop is 1 times 2. Well, that's just a 2. And let's see, 10 is bigger than 2. So my alligator eats 10, but that also means it eats the fraction 1/2. So we need to look at our answer choices to see where our alligator eats 1/2. Part A, alligator's eating 1/10. That doesn't work. Part B, the alligator is still eating 1/10. That still doesn't work. But part C, the alligator's eating 1/2. That's our answer. Number 3, let's decide what's proper or improper. So 2/6, 2 is smaller than 6, which makes this a proper fraction. 6 over 6 makes this an improper fraction. Because remember, improper can also mean the top and bottom are the same. Well, I know improper is always bigger, so I need to look for when an alligator sign is eating 6 over 6. Which one do you think that is? If you guessed B, you'd be right, because the alligator's eating 6 over 6. Neither A or C work. Let's go to number 4. 15 over 10. 15 is bigger than 10, which makes this improper. 8 over 9. 8 is smaller than 9, which makes this proper. Alligators eat improper fractions, so alligator needs to eat 15 over 10. Guess, I want you to circle which one you think that is. You should circle C, because the alligator's eating 15 over 10. Number 5, we have 2/3. Well, 2 is smaller than 3, which makes this proper. Compared to 4/2, 4 is bigger than 2, which makes this improper. Alligators always eat improper, so I need to circle the answer where the alligator eats 4/2. That would be part A. Of course, if I went too fast, pause your video and get stuff copied down. Actually listen to this video. But I'm going to move on now to part 2. Now, we spent a lot of time last week sorting our fractions based off of their top numbers compared to the bottom. So I need you to add these little notes right now to each of these questions. So when you do your real quiz, you have a good example, and just in case you forget what it means. So let's pause the video now and copy this down. Good. So question 1 is asking us to find a fraction that is proper between 0 and 1/2. Well, this means we're looking for a fraction where it has a really small top number compared to the bottom. So if we look at our first answer choice, it's 4/5. 4 is smaller than 5, but it's not really small compared to 5, so I can cross that off. B, we have 1 compared to 3. 1 is smaller than 3, and 1 is actually pretty small compared to 3, so this might be my answer. But let's rule out part C, which is 2/2. Well, that's actually improper, so that can't work at all, which automatically means part B is 1/3. Question 2, this one wants to just identify immediately which fraction is improper. So our two options for that is either the bigger number is on top compared to the bottom, or the top is the same as the bottom. So you should be able to identify that pretty quickly, and it would be part A. Last one for this section is which fraction is proper between 1/2 and 1. Well, that just means you're looking for when the top number is only kind of small compared to the bottom. So let's look at answer A. 20/5. That is way bigger than, the top number is way bigger than the bottom, so that actually cannot work out. Part B, we have 6 compared to 7. Well, 6 is only kind of small compared to 7, so that might be our answer, but we need to make sure we can rule out everything. Part C is 2/5. 2 is actually pretty small compared to 5. So this one will not work. So we choose part B. Very good. Now we got to move on to the back side. Now the back side, now I have to adjust my paper here, is just adding or subtracting the fractions. So remember, the bottoms always stay the same, and you either add or subtract the tops. Now this would be a good point just to pause the video, and then you can unpause it to check your answers. Okay, so hopefully you've worked through all of those. Now you can just check your answer with me. Now this would be a great time again to pause the video and check your answers. If you made any mistakes, let's correct them. If you're not sure how you got an answer, please raise your hand and I will come over and help you. As soon as you're done, you need to let me know, and then you're going to do your real quiz. And remember, you can use your practice quiz on the real quiz. All right, that's it, guys. Thanks.